Gentlemen, this case is not a difficult one. It requires no minute sifting of complicated facts. This case is as simple as black and white. The state has not produced one iota of evidence that the crime Tom Robinson is charged with ever took place. It has instead relied upon the testimony of two witnesses. Witnesses whose testimonies have not only been called into serious question on the cross-examination, but has been flatly contradicted by the defendant. I have nothing but pity in my heart for the chief witness of the state, but my pity does not extend to her putting a man's life at stake. And this is what she's done. She's done it in an effort to get rid of her guilt. I say guilt, gentlemen, because it was guilt that motivated her. She committed no crime, but she had broken a rigid code of our society. A code so severe that whoever breaks it is hounded from her midst, is unfit to live with. She is the victim of cruel poverty and ignorance, but she knew full well the enormity of her offense, and she persisted. She persisted, and the subsequent reaction is something that every child has done. She tried to put the evidence of her offense away from her, out of sight. Now, what was this evidence? Not a stolen toy to be hidden. This evidence that must be destroyed is Tom Robinson, a human being. Tom Robinson is a daily reminder of what she did. Now, what did she do? She tempted a Negro. She did something that in our society is unspeakable. She's white and she tempted a Negro. Not an old uncle, but a strong, young, black man. No code mattered to her before she broke it, but it came crashing down on her afterwards. Her father saw what happened, and what did he do? There is substantial evidence that Mayella was beaten savagely by someone who lives almost exclusively with their left hand. Damn you to hell! And Mr. Yule swore out a warrant, no doubt signing it with his left hand. Now, Tom Robinson sits before you, having taken oath with the only good hand he possesses, his right hand.
You trickin' liar!
Quiet, or you'll be fined for contempt.
So a quiet, respectable Negro man who had the unmitigated temerity to feel sorry for a white woman is on trial for his life. He's had to put his word against his two white accusers. I need not tell you their conduct here in court today. Their cynical confidence that you gentlemen would go along with them on the assumption, the evil assumption, that all Negroes lie, that all Negroes are basically immoral, an assumption that one associates with minds of their caliber. But you know the truth, and the truth is some Negroes lie, and some Negro men are not to be trusted around women, black or white. And so with some white men. This is a principle that applies to the entire human race, and to no particular race. In this year of grace, 1935, we're hearing more and more references to Thomas Jefferson's phrase of all men being created equal. But we know that all men are not created equal, in the sense that some men are smarter than others. Some men make more money. Some men have more opportunities because they're born with it. And some women make better cakes. But there is one human institution that makes the pauper an equal to a Rockefeller, the stupid man an equal to an Einstein. That institution, gentlemen, is a court of law. In our courts, all men are created equal. I'm no idealist to believe so firmly into the integrity of our courts. That's no ideal to me. It's a living, working reality. But a court is only as sound as its jury, and a jury is only as sound as the men who make it up. I am confident that you gentlemen will review without passion the evidence you've heard today, come to a decision, and restore this defendant to his family. In the name of God, do your duty.
God, leave them.
Look yonder.
It's Calpurnia, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Could I please speak with Mr. Finch? It hasn't got anything to do with the trial.
Of course. What is it, Cal? Judge, she says my children are missing and haven't turned up since noon. Could you?
There, Atticus. Yonder.
Yeah? Scout, come down. Let's talk outside.
Is he mad?
We'll find out.
Atticus.
Atticus, we won, haven't we?
I have no idea. You've been here all afternoon? We'll go home with Calpurnia and stay home.
Oh, Atticus, please let us hear the verdict.
Have you done your reading for Miss Dubose today?
Not yet. Please, sir, we...
Tell you what. Go home, do your reading each Sunday. And if the jury's still out, you can come back and hear the verdict.
Sir!
If they sit through the whole thing, they might as well hear the rest.
What if the jury comes back
They
before?
might. They might be gone and back in a minute.
You think they'll quit him that fast?
Go home, do your reading, and eat your supper. And if the jury's still out, Cal can bring it back. Thank you, Cal.
I should see every one of you alive. The very idea, you children listening like that. Mr. Jim, don't you know better than to bring your sister to our trial? As for you, Mr. Dill, you watch out your mom don't ship you to Meridian first thing in the morning. You ought to be perfectly ashamed of yourselves.
Finch, better listen. I'm gonna kill you. If it takes the rest of my life, you hear? I'm gonna kill you!
I saw that. I think I should speak to Heck.
Let's not bother, Heck.
Aren't you going to say anything?
Well, I wish Bob would not chew tobacco.
Well, at least the children didn't have to see that. When they came back a few hours later, Calpurnia was still expressing her outrage.
Thought you was getting some kind of head on your shoulders, huh, Mr. Dill? Ain't you got any sense at all?
Don't you want to see what happened?
Hush up now. Mr. Finch don't wear you out, I will.
The jury's still out.
Nobody's moved hardly.
She looked around some when the jury came out.
How long have they been out?
Hours. Mr. Finch and Mr. Gilman did some more talking, and Judge Taylor charged the jury. He might have fair-minded, almost as if he was leaving a little bit outside. Maybe Mr. Gill so mad he stomped up the room.
The judge is supposed to lean either way. Besides, we don't need it, because we won anyway.
Mr. Jim, I've never seen any jury decide in favor of a black man.
This case is different.
Wonder where's Atticus? That Bob Yule looks mighty pleased about something. Jim, ain't it a long time?
Sure is, Scout. Thank you for your sign.
I think something's happening. Here we go.
This court will come to order. Scout, look at the jury coming in.
What about it?
They're not looking at the defendant.
What's that mean?
The defendant will rise.
What's that mean, Scout?
You're gonna say,
See what?
Hush. The jury finds the defendant guilty.
we lost! It's on the clock!
How did they find him guilty?
Not right, the children should see such things. Not right, any children should see such things.
Well, what happens now? What can we do?
If the evidence don't matter, I don't see there's anything.
But they're not going to hurt Tom Robinson, are they? Atticus will do something.
They shall mean hateful things about him and find Tom Robinson guilty, but no matter what any of them says, Atticus,
Miss Jean Louise, Scout, stand up. Stand up. Call distraction.
Atticus, wait. Atticus, how could they do it?
I don't know. They've done it before. They did it today, and they'll do it again. When they do it, seems like only children weep. See you at home.
We can still do something, can't we? Something?
Seems to me like the minute they yell you come out and scream, Tom Robinson was the dead man.
Hell, I ain't asking you to back children.
After you can visit her court, why were you sitting over there in the balcony? Several people mentioned it. Wasn't it right close over there?
Hush, Stephanie.
Do you think it's right for children to be
We made the town this way for them. Might as well learn to cope with it.
Well, at least they don't have to wallow in it.
What happened in court today is as much a part of make them as his missionary teeth.
Well, excuse me. I don't suppose they understood anyway. It's too bad you had to see your daddy get beat.
When I get grown, I'm gonna be a clown.
What, Dill?
Yes, sir. A clown. There ain't nothing in this world I can do about folks, so I'm gonna join the circus and laugh my head off.
You got it backwards, Dill. I'm just saying, it's folks that laugh at him.
Well, I'm gonna be a new kind of clown. I'm gonna stand in the middle of the ring and laugh. Laugh in their faces.
Don't pay any attention to what she says about Atticus.
What do you mean?
Well, I simply would like you to know that there are some men in this world who were born to do our unpleasant jobs for us. Your father's one of them.
I thought Maycomb folks were the best folks in the world.
Well, we're the safest folks in the world. So rarely called on to be Christians, but when we are, we've got men like Atticus to stand for us.
Who feels that way besides you?
The handful of people who feel that fair play is marked wide only.
But who? Who did one thing to help Tom Robinson?
Well, his friends, for one thing, and people like us. We exist too. People like people like Judge Taylor. Start using your head, Jim. Did it ever strike you that Judge Taylor naming Atticus to defend Tom was no accident? That Judge Taylor might have had his reasons?
That's right, Jim. Usually they appoint some new lawyer. One who's just starting.
You're beginning to realize a little more to it than you thought. Whether Maycomb realizes it or not, we are paying your father the highest tribute we can pay a man. We trust him to do right.
Then why did he get beat?
Oh, Miss Stephanie talks nonsense. Maybe we didn't get an acquittal, but we got something. I was sitting in court waiting, and as I waited, I thought, Atticus Finch can't win. He won't win. But he's the only man in these parts who can keep a jury out for so long on a case like this. And I thought to myself, maybe we're taking a little step along the way. Well, I'm going into my house now, and I'm going to bake cake. And I'd be very pleased if you'd all come over and have some of my cake.
Yes, it's mine.
Thank you.
And Mr. Dill?
Yes, I would. Thank you. I better check in with Aunt Rachel first. They trust him to do right.